take a look over at Nijisanji because
Alright, what the hell happened?
the situation with them continues to get even worse than it was. Earlier today, False ID tweeted out, hearing of strange VTuber guest and vendor rejections from OffKai Expo 2024. DMs are open, reach out if you wish to share, even if as anonymous. And he attached this image that shows the OffKai website and spliced together notice of rejection of OffKai Expo 2024 guest application that someone was sent. This caused a lot of people to think things like this, saying, wouldn't surprise me if OffKai got money from Niji to not accept artists listed on a certain list from a couple days ago. But then there were also a ton of other people saying, shame on you, False. OffKai's guest and vendor applications and announcements closed long before the Niji scandal blew up, and many Doki-loving vendors and guests are going. This is ridiculous and harmful to the staff, confirmed guests, and vendors. Another person saying, bad take. Not everyone can be accepted due to limited space. There were quote retweets.
Is this copium?
Tweets like this one from Ducky saying the splicing together of screenshots here is blatantly misleading. Is
this copium?
Harmful, as you can see by the reaction towards OffKai organizers, but it disappoints me that it isn't surprising. I have many other words for the situation, but I'll stick with this for now. Coffee said this is so weird seeing from a common regular anime con goer perspective. There can only be so many guests from a financial, space, and time standpoint, and featured guests are a common occurrence even at anime cons. Sometimes potential guests will present themselves better in their applications. You cannot have thousands of guests in one hotel. Also, for those who have gone to OffKai, know that it's in a smaller space by con standards. There's no official convention center, so of course it'll have less guests and panelists than compared to ACEN, AX, ALA, ANYC, Katsu, etc. Also, stitching the images together between confirmed featured guests and the rejection email is weird and speculative. And False's tweet got a response from OffKai Expo saying, we're deeply concerned to see there's talks of strange guest and vendor rejections and would like to assure people that Nijisanji has not influenced our guest or vendor haul decisions at any point in time. People quote retweeted this response from OffKai saying, so False ID didn't say anything about Nijisanji in his tweet. And then OffKai swings into his response going, this isn't Niji, we swear. The response is ironically the only thing making me think there's a small chance this is Nijisanji related. Someone else said, if I remember correctly, the guest panel application period was before the Doki termination. It's a slightly different process for agency VTubers, but still. By the time the applications were closed, all this started happening. By then, it's too late for Doki to be invited this year. Someone else said, quote, False never said anything about Niji though. He literally cropped Etheria from the guest list and merged it with a rejection email. If that ain't drama baiting, I don't know what is. And after this entire situation went down, OffKai tweeted out a very important announcement regarding Nijisanji, saying after thoughtful consideration, OffKai Expo believes that recent events have resulted in an environment where Etheria appearing would not be conducive to a positive convention experience.
When this video ends, I'll be in the Discord, and I want you guys to come in and say your pieces
For any Colors Livers or their attendees. As such, in a
Bro, I literally just woke up.
Parfait and Rainbow Indo will not be appearing at OffKai Expo 2024. Okay. Badge refunds may be requested until April 30th at their website. In the stream room. We apologize for any inconvenience caused. They added on for some clarification, saying, for the record, this was a decision made 2 weeks prior and has no relation to today's events and misunderstandings. Thank you for your patience. This tweet receiving replies such as, this statement is 1, not believable because they stayed up on the page for 2 weeks, 2, opens you to lawsuits as many people in the past 2 weeks purchased tickets hoping to meet the talent, false advertising. You better start refunds for anyone who was hoping to meet them. Someone else said, bro, why did y'all wait till just now to say it then? Quote, if this is true, then letting folks believe they were...
Holy shit, this is a PR nightmare for OffKai Expo. Holy shit. God damn.
Gonna be there for the last 2 weeks is kind of fucked up. Chris said, you know,
yeah, bro, because people be buying these tickets in advance. Like, say what do you guys want about Nijisanji, whatever. Like, if people are paying to go to this expo to see them, and it's like, hey, last notice. By the way, they're not gonna be there. Like, bro, what the fuck, bro? I'm suing.
Reputation hit hard when even an expo thinks you are a liability. Flipsy quoted Nijisanji saying the impact of this decision on our financial results will be negligible. Alara said this makes sense with the current controversy of Niji, but still crazy to see. And tons of more people are just making fun of Nijisanji, saying they are now in the finding out phase. And then someone else said, well, I feel bad for any Livers fans. This is the right move. Nijisanji isn't the best company to support as of right now, and it's better to just avoid them. It will create a more positive environment at OffKai as well. But it also received replies such as quote retweets going negligible by the way and blacklisted are so stupid. OffKai decided to no longer feature them because there's a high risk that twats will harass both the livers and Nijisanji fans in person like what they're already doing online and at other cons. Are these people not ashamed? Adding on, like, sure, celebrate how you guys have made the VTuber community so toxic towards Nijisanji talents and their fans to the point that they might feel like it's not even safe for them to attend. We also had Ducky responding to this saying, never been more disappointed in the community. This has gone on too long where talent and attendee safety is a real concern due to tribalism. This doesn't help get big VTubers to conventions, given many hosts are already hesitant to invite and now agencies might be to accept. Adding on, I don't really understand why it took 2 weeks to announce this if it's been locked. That's 2 weeks of trip planning someone may have made just to see Etheria, and we all know what happened today on the timeline, but my above point still stands. And another person saying, I know the message itself is not a very good thing, but the way they worded it is at least considerate of both sides. I hope the storm passes for everyone genuinely. We had Kenny saying, assuming OffKai actually had been planning to pull the plug on any color livers or attendees for weeks, which seems unlikely to be honest, this is awful timing as it paints them as susceptible to pressure campaigns even if they say otherwise. Good call, but bad execution. And yeah, I have to agree with that. I do not know why.
That's true. That is absolutely true. Because in the future, if the whole community doesn't like somebody, and maybe it'll be on like a false pretense. It's like you guys already showed that y'all will bend the knee. I mean, should they? I mean, it's a different conversation.
They decided to wait so long to announce this, and then decided to announce it today of all days after all of the drama going on around OffKai right now. There was also Kokomi saying, dickheads celebrating they made an unsafe environment for livers and Niji fans by harassing them online and offline, I hope you rot. Rim said OffKai reading the room and making this correct decision. Niji is a toxic brand you shouldn't officially be associated with due to recent events and how they treat their livers both current and former. Marcel saying, this is honestly, it's game changing. To have a convention strongly and vehemently say that having any color talents would not create a positive experience is actually freaking insane. I don't think OffKai means that bringing the Nijisanji talents to OffKai is going to bring the mood of the entire convention down at all. I just think they're trying to protect the talents and protect the fans that are going there. There's also Gator saying, I actually don't like this. I think Niji talents have a right to be at this con without intimidation and harassment, just like other VTubers have a right to be at the con.
That is also true. That is absolutely also true. So do the ends justify the means?
Tokoroki saying, decision was made 2 weeks prior, but only offering refunds now? Why? Isn't that a bad marketing strategy? I mean, sure, you offered refunds, but you still marketed for 2 weeks that these talents will be there. Which makes it even more strange that they decided to announce this today. It's going to make people believe that they only announced this and booted them from OffKai because of the situation with False. Crest said, harassing fans and artists at cons, harassing the livers enough to the point cons start canceling appearances to protect them, circulate hardcore racist doxx of talents and organize homophobic hate mobs. The more this behavior continues, the less legitimacy it has. Someone else said, pretty sure this has to do more with not wanting to deal with toxic community members than anything judging from the comments under the tubers' tweets and all that. Y'all are just being toxic to be toxic. Shame it had to go down like this. So I'll be honest, I'm not all too surprised to see Nijisanji getting dropped from a convention, not really because of their reputation or anything, but because of the talent's safety, along with the safety of their fans. We've already seen people selling merchandise of Nijisanji allegedly being harassed at conventions, and fans of Nijisanji being harassed online, so there's a very big chance that if Nijisanji fans went to the convention and went to the meet and greets for the talents, they would have been harassed in person. So the best case for OffKai would just be to not let them show up. Not sure if this is a mutual thing between OffKai and Nijisanji or not, as Nijisanji hasn't responded to this. Also, the talents of
public right now.
Again?
The streaming room is public right now.
Okay. Well, if anybody wants to talk, I mean, what are your thoughts on it? Because I'd love to hear because you guys had all day to think this over and get your.
Well, I found out same time you did, but I already have my thoughts in order.
Yes.
I mean.
Okay. So let's hear them.
I mean, it's unsurprising that Niji would get dropped, and from this the OffKai Expo. At the same time, this is also a bad PR thing for OffKai, given that they admitted that this had been confirmed for 2 weeks, and they really didn't. They waited 2 weeks to publicly announce it because a lot could happen in 2 weeks. A lot of flights could be booked, travel expenses could be made, and it's not even just about the tickets. It's and it just makes them look bad. Well, I mean, yeah. Overall, I'm completely unsurprised with Niji being dropped here. And I mean, I've seen some people in the Discord, uh, and some people in the comments talking about like this doesn't really mean anything, and
It
it's
means a
like
lot.
okay,
It means a lot.
and because the expo is a bit small in terms of cons, but
But
the thing is, they said the same thing about when I remember the first fan merch person to stop working with Niji. They said, oh, okay, well, this is just a fan thing. It's not even an official thing, so they won't really be affected much. But guess what? It kept progressing, and now you have official sponsors leaving you, like Hyde, for an example. And now you have, even if it's a small con, you have OffKai Expo kicking you out because of all the shit your company's been doing. And if they're willing to do it, more of them will.
that is true. I mean, it sets the precedent. It's like, okay, if what's the biggest one? Anime, I don't know these cons, right? But whatever the biggest one is, like that will be the last one to pull out, or maybe that'll be the first one to pull out. But regardless, one person already did, which is OffKai. And you could say, yeah, OffKai Expo is small. If one person does it, the others have an excuse to follow suit. It only takes one person and one company to say, we're not going to mess with you. And nobody messes with you. A real life example of this would be like the baby. You guys remember the baby? Let's go, like the memes and shit. And then he was like, if you sucking dick in the back, put your light up, your camera. What? It all started from there. And then like now he is no longer relevant, and he was at the top of his peak until he said that shit. So one person pulled, and it was slowly. It was like, oh, the fans, the haters pull out first, right? The haters, and then next thing you know, it's the fans, and next thing you know, it's the companies. And once the companies pull out, where are you left to go?
Exactly. And more companies will just be afraid to approach you due to all these other companies leaving you. They think to follow suit because I mean obviously there's a reason everyone else is leaving.
It's more about Nijisanji making it about timing is deflection. I think so too.
Well,
I
of
think so
course
too.
it's about Nijisanji, whether they admit it or not.
But I think they're just trying to have some type of, hey, it's not really the company. It's like we thought about this. It's like, bro, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Either you push Nijisanji down the drain or you shoot yourself in the foot. Which one would you do?
It literally, no matter what way you look at it, it doesn't make sense why they would do that. Because you can say, oh, it's about money, but it's like, well, if they're getting refunds, then they're losing money. And they did all this advertising. They're losing money.
Yeah. That shit ain't
And
cheap.
so it doesn't make sense why they would wait 2 weeks. Maybe to see if the Niji drama would die down, but
what would you have done in OffKai's shoes? It's like you already booked these talents, and then a controversy happens.
Depends how big it is, and since it is quite at this scale, I would do the same thing. I would cut them off.
Yeah, I feel like that's.
I would not want to taint the entire expo because you're gonna have all these toxic people here due to this.
So,
you're gonna have haters. You're gonna have, and they're gonna be spreading everywhere.
So this makes me think about what Gator said in the tweet. He's like he doesn't agree with this, and I understand where he's coming from, but it's like what is worse? What is worse? Marking a precedent that, people are subject to bullying, like companies are subject to bullying, which is already, like, everybody knows this. You can literally bully a company into anything you want if enough people are loud enough, because companies only care about money. They don't care about other people's feelings and shit like that, right? They will pretend, they will say they do, but they really don't. So, like, yeah, I get it. It sucks that, OffKai is like, hey, Nijisanji, we want to have a safe, like, whatever their excuse is, at the end of the day, they're choosing to, hey, bend the knee. But what's worse, them bending the knee and it's a safer environment for the majority, or purposely and negligibly allow Nijisanji and Nijisanji fans to be at an expo when most likely they're gonna be targeted, they're gonna be bullied, right? And they didn't even like minor criticism. They call minor criticism harassment. So what makes you think, like, bro, there's gonna be more reports. If they let this happen, OffKai Expo, you won't believe what happened. You won't believe what happened. You won't believe what happened. Next thing you know, OffKai wasn't last year. OffKai Expo had some bullshit with the Cookski shit. Y'all remember the Cookski shit that happened last year?
Yeah.
This is gonna be beyond the Cookski shit. I bet y'all already forgot about the Cookski situation. That was somebody impersonating a beloved member of the community, impersonating them. Now imagine someone impersonating Cookski. And imagine that same guy was like, oh my God, Nijisanji fucking sucks. And now you have an impersonator of a brand, a YouTuber, that's not, because nobody knew who the fuck Cookski really is. So they were like, yeah, that's Cookski. Now what if Cookski comes out and it's like, yeah, Nijisanji fucking sucks. And it's like, haha, funny. But at the same time, it's not funny. Imagine if it was like, oh my God, Hololive fucking sucks. You guys will put your fucking pitchforks and torches up. But because, Nijisanji has shown that they do, in fact, fucking suck, it's understandable. But at the same time, there are still young people that are going to go to these cons that don't really care. They just want to be able to express themselves by being a Niji fan.
It's just smarter for OffKai to cut off Niji because
100%.
Just like with any other sponsor or whatever, and the reason they're pulling out is they don't want to be seen supporting a black company. It'll mess with their image.
It will 100% will.
Obviously the execution was not all that great. They could have done it way better, but at the end it's better for them to do what they did.
Bro, I like what Kami said. It sucks for Nijisanji fans, but it's called consequences. At this point, it's called accountability. Because if they have fessed up to all their shit, and imagine the Uki shit never happened. Imagine the UQ Wilson bait never happened. Imagine the rats never happened, right? All because accountability. Hey, we fucked up a long time ago. This is what, and we're nipping it in the bud. There is an alternative universe where Nijisanji is legitimately competitors with Hololive. And now we live in a universe where that is not happening. Because lack of accountability. A long time. If this was, bro, I'm telling you, if people would have said some shit about the Zion shit, bro, that's enough time for shit to be switched around. Like, yeah, we wouldn't have Etheria anymore, maybe. But what's worse? The reality we live in now, or another reality where Nijisanji is legitimately a competitor to Hololive because they have talents in there and there's no bully culture or whatever the fuck. Y'all tell me which is better.
Obviously the latter.
No shit. Any ladder is better than this former. What the fuck?
Yeah. But you're saying it sucks for the Nijisanji fans. I mean, man, those Nijisanji fans are a bit crazy too.
They are, but it's like, bro, we're all crazy. We watch fucking VTubers. It's just, man. Some people are ride or die
you know
for
how
their...
specifically Nijisanji fans are.
Bro, they ride or die.
Those Niji sisters go hard.
They're ride or die. They're ride or die. But let's be real. Now, wouldn't you want a ride or die fan base? I ain't gonna lie, that shit kind of fire. But they riding and dying for the wrong cause. That's literally it.
Yeah, it makes you look bad. So I wouldn't really say it's a plus.
You know why it makes them look bad? It's because they're dumb. If they
I was
actually,
gonna say that.
if they
I was
actually,
gonna say,
if they actually had constructive criticism and they accepted accountability and they said, yeah, Nijisanji fucked up and we're gonna try and fix it as a fan base, as a community, instead of blindly defending your fucking Oshi, if you checked your Oshi, say, hey, you guys fucked up. Nobody else would tell them. What's worse? If you have a kid in Walmart and your kid's being crazy, what's worse? You saying, hey, stop, or some other adult coming in and saying, hey, you better stop before I beat your ass. And then I'm gonna beat your mama ass too.
the fuck.
Bro, am I the only one? I'm about to turn my bro. Am I the only one that get tired of these badass fucking kids in Walmart? These fucking badass kids running around screaming, throwing shit, and all the parents doing is sitting there like, oh, calm down. Okay, I'll buy you the toy. Bro, my mom would have broke her foot off in my ass, bro. Ain't no motherfucking way.
That's just how it is.
Ain't
It quite literally is what it is.
And it is what it is. And that's the fact. It is what it is. It is what it is, right? Yeah. That's why the Nijisanji fan base, it is what it is. Because nobody is gonna step in there and say, hey, Etheria, fix your shit. Fix your shit. Whoever, whatever name, whoever fucking up, fix your shit. That's it. I'm calling you out. Fix your fucking shit.
Okay.
That's it. Literally, I'm telling you. KhunShawn is sitting here saying, I know you know. I'm letting them know because they watch the videos, right? Fix your fucking shit. If you fix your shit, none of this will happen. Niji sisters, none of this will happen.
It's literally how it was. I mean, in kind of like early day Hollow, right? When Hollow like made some mistakes, the fans let him know, and accountability was taken. And obviously, obviously there's a section. It was kind of divided at that point. Like for example, the Taiwan thing, you had freaking the actual West and versus China. And
yeah, that's a geopolitical issue, but like
obviously China was acting like freaking Niji sisters, but
that's
like
China.
crazy.
But that's China.
Yeah, but yeah, and the Western side still it wasn't like they're like letting things go. They're still giving constructive criticism towards the company for some decisions they'd make, and at the end of the day, they Hololive
hold on
made their decisions.
Hold on. Jennifer, you are a former Niji sister. Would you like to come on the podcast and express your concerns and questions and maybe be an advocate of peace for the Niji sisters? This is up to you at this point. They don't relate to each other. Well, would you like to come explain it? No? Okay, well, there it is. So until one of the Niji sisters likes to come up here and actually talk, then nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. We're going to consistently compare Niji sisters and Etheria. You say they have no relation, they have no correlation. There is nobody here to say that. You're typing in a chat. Nobody's going to believe you. You don't use your voice. You're not an advocate. Even me, KhunShawn, I am an advocate for peace, for stability, for communication. This is why the podcast is a thing. No. It's open for communication. If you do not communicate, expect people to call you the bad guy until you prove otherwise. You don't like it.
We just keep it as real as possible.
It is what it is. It is what it motherfucking is. At the end of the day, I don't really give a fuck. I just woke up. I just think it's interesting. But yeah, chaotic. Does anybody want to come on and talk? Anybody want to come on and talk? Say anything? If you want to say fuck you Nijisanji, go ahead, join and say, hey, fuck you Nijisanji. If you want to come in and say, oh man, Nijisanji should do better, come up here and say Nijisanji should do better. This is what my platform is for the VTubing community, for you guys to express your opinions in an orderly manner, because I'm going to sit here and mediate. Even though I do know what's right and wrong, I will let you explain, because you're either going to say something that's going to blow my fucking mind, or I'm giving you the rope for you to fucking hang yourself. But at least it's public. So everybody knows, this is what the fuck you said, this is what the fuck you think. This is what Yennefer Nguyen thinks. This is what Kami himself 360 thinks. This is what Majestic Pumpkin thinks. This is what Chaotic Flow thinks. This is what KhunShawn thinks. This is what False ID thinks. This is what Kel thinks. You guys can speak for your fucking selves on my platform. That's literally it. If nobody wants to speak, Chaotic will speak, and Chaotic loves speaking. So Chaotic, go ahead and continue.
As I was saying, when the Western side during that point in time was giving the company constructive criticism, obviously accountability was taken, and because as I always say, caring about your talents goes a long way, because
True.
it even protected them to this present day with China and their rules of kind of doxing VTubers depending on how popular they are. If the company had chosen China over Coco, they would be kind of in there, right? It would be associated with that.
Yep.
But because the company cares about the individual talents, they decided to choose Coco and deassemble the entire China branch. And obviously that wasn't the only reason, but they didn't just leave Coco to die or anything. They tried to protect her as much as possible. And obviously they made some mistakes, but they're putting in effort, and to this day they keep that into account. They remember their history, and they learned from it.
So I'm gonna say this because Yennefer, I obviously care about you, and I care about everyone in my community. If your online persona and all this shit's getting airstruck, literally just go to my Discord. We literally have checks and balances. If there's an idiot in the Discord, we ban them. If you can't handle the Twitter, go to literally they say there's no safe spaces. There are no safe spaces. But I have my community as a safe space for communication. So whenever someone takes it past communicating on the topic and the debate, they automatically lose. They lose the debate. If we're talking about Nijisanji and HoloLive, and then for some reason you start talking about Hamas and shit that has nothing to do with that, boom, you're out. Like, what the fuck? That ain't has nothing to do with the conversation. So we keep the conversations on topic. Because this is a video, right? So it's for everybody. We keep the conversation civil and on topic. And if there's an uncivilized person, we boot them, because I don't like idiots. So if you're an idiot, get kicked out. If you want to stay and learn, cool. If you want to stay and spy, you're fucking dumb, and then you get kicked out. All right, go ahead, continue, Chaotic.
Oh yeah, as I was saying, you just got to learn from your history. And I remember when we watched the old Parrot 4chan video.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
And you saw the problems have been present for a long time.
What is the video called?
And
Parrot 4chan.
It was about the HoloLive Connect the World concert and people's reaction to it, I believe.
Yeah.
And there's already problems during that time, and that was like a year ago.
11 months ago.
And there's
right
problems. When did Hinamori Luna
What up, Masashi?
debut?
You trying to hop on?
Yeah, come on,
Well,
Masashi.
well, that'll be for another episode. This is 30 minutes long. I mean, we've set our points, set our pieces. We can continue in the podcast, which is what we're doing now. So go ahead and no, let me end the video first. God damn it.
Yo, okay, let me go hop off.